I spent a year asking 25 teenagers at a youth psychiatric unit about what they needed for support. And here's something that came up constantly. They want to be pursued. I mean that they want the adult in the room to take initiative in their well-being, initiative in that time spent together, initiative in going to them and being where they want to be, because our initiative says, you matter. I see you. You are worthy. And I think that you are so fantastic that I want to spend this time with you. That is such a powerful thing for kids to know. And it was one thing that my students, that I was almost there for 5.5 years of that psychiatric unit, they didn't feel that they had many people in their lives taking that initiative. So let's talk about now action. Like, what do you actually do with this? So here's the first thing is just the time. Just having time. It is so hard for working parents, I know, to sometimes navigate all of that. And I myself have found recently it's really hard with me spending so many hours on building this brand to be able to shut down and take that time. Here's something else though. And this one's key to getting on their turf is stop talking for a bit. So what I mean by that is if your kid is chatting to you, listen well. So stop the talking all the time so that you can really listen to what your kid's saying. And then along those lines is the same thing. I want you to consider how you are listening in that time with your child. So let's talk about listening for a sec to get on your child's turf. Specifically, consider these questions when your kid's talking to you. Am I listening just for the sake of listening? Like am I listening or going through the motions of listening because I'm a parent and I'm supposed to be listening? And by the way, I think teacher parents are the worst because we do this in class all the time. I'm supposed to, but are you really? That's one. Here's another thing to consider about in listening as you connect with your kids is, are you listening to verify your own assumptions? Oh, here they go again. They're complaining about X, Y, and Z. They're complaining about how I didn't pick them up on time from school, whatever that is. And when kids launch complaints at our own parent behavior, it's really hard to not consider like our own assumptions of here we go again, rather than just pausing and waiting and seeing what they have to say. And then along those lines, here's number 3 of how to listen to get on your kid's turf is that we often listen, ready for this, to plan our next response. So if your kid's going off at you about whatever you did wrong, we all do this. Start thinking of what I'm going to respond with. And I think we all do this on this planet. But I want you to consider that then in your next conversation when there's maybe a bit of conflict. Am I planning my next response? So instead, reflect again. Just pause and listen. And even take a few moments to consider, to say, let me think about this for a sec. Really hard to do, but I believe that it's possible to acquire that skill.